So when I made my video about how I feel like Tauruses, and well, I was really just speaking for myself, has black cat energy rather than the more golden retriever type of energy that we usually get depicted for. A lot of y'all commented that you feel like Taurus energy is connected to the goddess Persephone. If you didn't know, Persephone is part of Greek mythology, and she is the daughter of Zeus, the god Zeus, and the goddess Demeter. I hope that I'm pronouncing her name right. Now, personally, I already knew who Persephone was. I just didn't know like her story. I just knew that she was the wife of Hades, and that's all I knew. I didn't know her backstory. And so I took the liberty to read up on more information about Persephone because I was very intrigued why y'all kept commenting her and why you feel like Persephone represents us as Taurus women specifically. So here's what I learned about Persephone, and by the end of the video, I will share my thoughts on why I can see why y'all would connect her to Taurus energy. And for those of you who know about Greek mythology, feel free to connect me wherever I'm wrong. I'm just going to share with you what I learned about Persephone so far. So like I said, she is the god of Zeus, the daughter of the god Zeus and the goddess Demeter. Zeus is the god of, I actually don't know what he's the god of. I didn't research him. I actually don't know what he does. I know that he controls like lightning or something like that. I only know about the god Zeus because of the movie Percy Jackson. I actually don't know what Zeus is the god of. I should have looked that up too. Y'all comment down below what Zeus is the god of. But I know that the goddess Demeter is pretty much the goddess of springtime, agriculture, pretty much Mother Nature. That's essentially what I gathered. She's essentially Mother Nature in a goddess-like form. She, like I said, controls springtime, nature, flowers, pretty much all of the vegetation and fertility of the earth. And then their daughter is Persephone. So long story short, Hades, who's the brother to Zeus, I think, yes, he's the brother to Zeus. He wanted to marry Persephone. And so he pretty much talked to Zeus about it. And Zeus pretty much allowed Hades to marry his daughter Persephone without letting Demeter know. So Persephone, Zeus allows Hades to come and take Persephone to the underworld and marry her, and this is all happening without Demeter, who's her mother, knowing. So Persephone's in the underworld, she gets married, yada yada yada, and Demeter finds out about this, obviously, and she's pretty much in distress, which understandably, this is her daughter who has gone missing. So she searched the entire earth for, I think it was about like 9 days, to find her daughter Persephone. And understand that I think that the way that time works when it comes to like gods is different than like human years. So I think they said 9 days, but 9 days for gods is probably different for what it is to humans, right? Anyways, she's searching the earth looking for her daughter Persephone, who's in the underworld. And because, keep in mind, she's the goddess of springtime, life on earth, and vegetation, when she's distraught, like when her mood is not, and when she's not in a good mood, that affects the earth. So as she is searching for her daughter and she's sad, she's mad, she's this and that, the earth is starting to die. All the plants are starting to die, vegetation, fruits, all that other stuff, fertility, all of that stuff is dying in the earth. And she is pretty much about to, or was leading the earth to famine as she's in search of her daughter Persephone. So Zeus and Hades are like, okay, wait, we didn't think this through. We cannot have this. We cannot have famine on earth because they depend a lot on humans. And if humans have no food, no water, no vegetation, because this is what the goddess Demeter, she's controlling all of this. If she's not in a bad mood, therefore the earth is dying off, that's a problem. So essentially, This is pretty much what Hades and Zeus are talking about. And so Hades and Zeus come together and they're like, okay, we got to solve this. And so Zeus ends up telling Demeter where their daughter is, Persephone. Zeus ends up telling them where Persephone is. And so, of course, Demeter, she's like, okay, go to the underworld and go get my daughter. So before Zeus was able to retrieve Persephone, this is where I'm not really 100% sure how this went down. But before Zeus was able to retrieve Persephone, Hades gave her a pomegranate, right? And I've never actually eaten a pomegranate before, but if you know with pomegranates, I think you're supposed to eat the seeds. And so what I understand is that Hades did something to these seeds. I don't know if he put a spell on it or what. I don't know exactly how that worked, but he did something to the seeds, and it kind of served as like a spell, basically tying Persephone down to the underworld for forever, though he will allow her to go into above ground to go see her mom for a small period of time. This small period of time is springtime. A lot of people think that Persephone, because of this, a lot of people think that Persephone is the goddess of spring. But Persephone is not the goddess of spring. Technically, her mother is the goddess of spring, though her mother is not simply the goddess of spring. She's the goddess of just like all of like vegetation, plants, all the other stuff. So pretty much all 4 seasons, her mother is the goddess of. The only reason why it appears as if Persephone is the goddess of spring is because her mother is happy when she gets to see her daughter, which is during springtime. So Persephone herself is not the goddess of spring, but you know that it's springtime because she's on Earth. Versus when she's in the underworld for the next 6 months of the year, or something around 6 months of the year. That's winter and fall, when her mother is pretty much sad again that her daughter is not on Earth. So it's not Persephone who controls the seasons. It's her mother, Demeter, but her mom's like emotional state affects the Earth. And a lot of her emotional state is dependent on when her daughter is above ground or not. So yeah, in a nutshell, I'm sure there's way more to the story. I think that's what I've learned and what I've gathered about the story. But like I said, if you know more about it, feel free to comment down below. Let me know, stitch this video, do whatever you need to do, because I would like to know more about Greek mythology, period. So now let's get to how this connects to the Taurus zodiac sign. And I might have to make a part 2 because this video is almost at 10 minutes. But if you guys didn't know, Taurus season is during spring season from April 20th to May 20th. Taurus is also the sister sign or like opposite sign to the zodiac sign Scorpio. Now the Taurus Scorpio axis, which is what they say in astrology, it's an axis. You have Taurus here, Scorpio there. Taurus Scorpio axis represents the axis of life and death, or like the underworld, which would be Scorpio, and then I guess Earth, which would be Taurus. Taurus is life, Scorpio is death. Taurus is like the life of things, and then Scorpio is the decay. So when it comes to someone like Persephone, she is someone who can travel between both worlds. She can go down to the place of death, which would be the underworld, and she can also be above Earth during the springtime, which is Taurus territory. So I think she is someone who has a very unique like place in Greek mythology, because she is someone who can go between life and death, literally married to the god of death. And then her mother is the goddess of not necessarily life, but like the things that give life, the vegetation, the plants, water, all that stuff. That Earth, like Earth is, everything on Earth was given to humans to be able to feed ourselves. So I think just her ability to be the queen of the underworld, but then able to come to Earth and do whatever she does on Earth, I think is why they connect her to the Taurus zodiac sign. When really, I guess it would be both. I think she technically represents both. Like, she's the Taurus Scorpio axis personified. I don't know if I have anything else to say about this. Comment if you need a part 2. And, I don't know, anything you want to add to this story.